Hello, I'm India with What's Occurring, and today we're going to the streets of Cardiff to gauge public reaction to a major development sending shockwaves around the world: Donald Trump's victory in the 2024 US presidential election. With President Trump returning to the White House for a second term, reactions are pouring in globally, and here in South Wales, feelings range from celebration to disbelief. We're in the heart of Cardiff to hear from you directly. What do you think this could mean for Britain's economy, foreign relations, and our future? How do you feel about Trump's return to the White House?
Not too happy, to be honest. I think he's a felon, and I don't really like that. I don't really like him. I think he influenced Roe v. Wade in a negative way, which I think was really bad for the women of America.
I think I had a full bodily visceral reaction. Like, I literally woke up with a stiff neck and I was like immobilized for 2 days. So quite literally, yeah, I did not enjoy that.
Honestly, indifference, really. I'm not too invested in American politics, so.
I would love to say I'm surprised, but I'm really not. I think that America have been quite indoctrinated into a cult-like mentality, and that causes him to have a very good lead into becoming president. And his way of manipulating, using charisma and stuff, makes it really easy to, get people riled up. They get to hear what they want to hear.
So you're saying he's an effective propagandist?
Absolutely, yeah, he is. He is literally a textbook definition of a charismatic leader. He's kind of up there with Charles Manson as like a cult mentality that when they get to hear what they want to hear, they'll go for it all the way, especially people who feel they don't fit in or that feel they don't belong in certain parts of society or feel they're not heard. It means that it's really easy to indoctrinate them into that kind of society that Trump creates.
Honestly, well, not much, because although American politics is important, I don't really keep up with it a lot, or politics for that much in general.
I'm feeling quite devastated. When I woke up and found out, I honestly started crying because it's just like, it's such an awful feeling. Like, girls all around the US, like women all around the US, I just feel so much empathy for them.
I kind of felt like ashamed and like almost betrayed by a lot of like the nation. Obviously, I witnessed the first term and yeah.
How do you think the political climate might change following this result?
I think for women especially, I've seen a lot of like uproar. It's been everyone talking about, guys, get your IUDs in the next week. Like, you need to get basically a hysterectomy because we now have no bodily autonomy. This has like larger political consequences for also like foreign policy. Like, this affects everyone. Like, I've seen a lot of people say, oh, like people getting all uppity about stuff that's happening in the US, but this has things for everything. Like, this is major.
I think kind of here in the UK, it's gonna get a lot worse again. I think that we are very much in the laps of America and we follow their lead. Wherever they go, we'll follow. So I generally believe that a lot of people are going to be in danger of losing a lot of rights, and it's gonna become a lot more difficult way of life for people in like the LGBT society and like women, especially with the Roe v. Wade thing. I think that a lot more rights are about to be taken out. I know that in like the 2025 plan that Trump had, he was going to get rid of gay marriage and make it illegal. So yeah, it's quite a scary and tense time, I would say.
After Trump's original presidency, there was obviously like a very democratic movement because of like disgust and whatever else. But I think that it could eventually turn more blue in 4 more years, but I can't see much changing for the near future.
Do you think this election will cause friction in ongoing conflicts? Which ones?
I don't think it will cause more friction than there is already, but I also don't think it will make any of it any better. I honestly think that Trump in the US will just kind of stay out of everything, apart from like, I wouldn't be surprised if they like aided Russia at all in like Ukraine and stuff.
Well, maybe it depends on what Donald Trump does. I mean, We'll see. We'll see. I guess only time will tell.
Absolutely. At least Harris Walt's campaign, even though she definitely didn't, she was still going to support Israel, but at least compared to Trump, she had spoken outwardly and like called for a ceasefire, at least, whereas Trump has said that he will continue supporting Israel in this genocide. So I think that's just it's not gonna, like eventually will aggravate because he's going to support, and because of the UK and US relationship, it means that Starmer will also be supporting that more.
I think it would affect Gaza because he endorsed Israel quite a bit, and I think that's negative because I'm really against Israel and what they're doing in Gaza.
I would say so. I know that apparently Trump has had conversations with Putin, like private ones, and I know that he's not exactly someone who cares much about Gaza, especially seeing as America do supply a lot of the weaponry to Israel to fight against Palestine and everything. So I think that, yeah, we are kind of on the brink of quite a possible world war situation. I think that tensions are really growing between the West and the rest of the civilizations, and I think it's just a matter of time before something big really happens and goes wrong.
Well, initially when Trump was voted out, he said, if I was voted in, I would have gone to war in Ukraine to defend Ukraine. And, you know, so possibly I think he could get involved in those areas, but who knows?
Yeah, I think it's going to stir up a lot in the Middle East especially, and I think Israel, obviously.
Do you think it's possible this election could influence nations worldwide?
Yes, definitely. I mean, Keir Starmer and one of his cabinet came out saying that they really dislike Trump, which is going to have really bad relations with like international wise, which was really bad. But yeah.
Well, maybe English-speaking countries. I doubt other countries because although American politics is quite important globally, I feel like with language barriers and with their own cultures in different countries and how all these countries operate, they have their own identity, so they all think differently. So I guess maybe depending on the situation, but I doubt it for everyone.
Yeah, I think in Russia especially, and you know, with Putin and Kim Jong-un obviously don't really respect Trump and can kind of walk all over him. So one major power is really took out of the equation, I think.
I think it definitely has the ability to affect people worldwide, especially in countries that are directly involved with the US, and our relation with the US, it could affect our political climate also.
What does this mean for the UK or the US? Where do we go from here?
I think it will impact the UK greatly because like what we saw in the last election when like the far right have been like emerging a lot, and that happening in the US as well is just gonna like impact people here to think that they can do the same and that they have like the same kind of power that they do in the US.
Group suicide at 3. I don't know, to be honest. This is like, there's gonna be a rough 4 years. Hopefully after this, I have an inkling that Kamala will probably run again and get it. If The Simpsons have said us anything, it will be that she'll get in 2028. But I don't know. I really don't know what we can do. The Oompa Loompa is in again, like...
Would you say your emotions have changed in the last 48 hours at this news, or is it quite consistently bad?
I think like I've gone through the 7 stages of grief and I'm now in acceptance. What can you do? Like literally, what can you do? I think we're at the point now where intervention is still possible from Biden's government, but Biden's not doing anything. He said, bye guys, and he went to sleep and never woke up again. He literally is like, he does still have the power to walk in and be like, hey, actually, this isn't legal. We have ballot boxes on fire. This isn't properly done. Like if we had an intervention in 2008, why aren't we having intervention now? He still has the power to do so, but I fear we're not gonna get that.
I have no idea. I genuinely think it's going to be holding our breath and seeing what comes next. I like to believe that there's good people in our government that might try and stand up and not let Keir Starmer fall into the trap of following Donald Trump's lead. I'm also hoping that the other countries around Europe, as well as other continents, will be able to say that they don't agree with what he's doing and possibly put him in his place a bit more. However, I generally am not sure what's going to happen. It is generally a very terrifying time to be, I would say, a young person in the world right now with everything that's going on.
What would this mean for the UK economy?
Well, so many professional news corporations have reported time and time again about the tariffs that are going to be implemented. And even in his first term, it didn't seem well for the world economy, since if people don't think that the US elections will affect them, it does affect them, especially economically, because the US is basically the World Bank. And with the British population still suffering from the living crisis, I feel, and inflation still getting increasing day by day, I don't think it's looking good. Well, maybe not in the short term, but definitely in the long term, especially when Trump does implement his plans for foreign relations, especially in Ukraine, in Gaza, and where else.
I don't know about that. I think maybe like a slow descent into more like neoliberal free market economics, but I think right now the cabinet that we have in, it's Tories and red ties. I think we were going to go down that route anyway. But yeah.
Thank you so much for being on your time. I hope you like these interviews, and in case you're interested in seeing more of what's occurring content, don't forget to follow our Instagram, our TikTok, and see what else we've got on our CUTV channel.